I caught myself performing again last week, and I didn't notice at first. It was like I was editing myself, and it was just kind of a normal interaction, a conversation where I was trying to be polite or good. I kind of put myself on mute, and then I felt it in my body, like a contraction, something happening, a signal that something wasn't right in me. And then I was disappointed, and I thought, aren't I past this? I thought this was finished. I was having a conversation with someone I like, and it was someone that matters to me. So it was subtle. I was softening things around the edges. I wasn't being as direct as sometimes I can be. And I started to notice a sense of discomfort in myself, which I ignored. And I continued in this conversation. And then after the spoken conversation, even in emails, I noticed I was censoring myself. I was double checking things that I was saying in a way that I normally wouldn't. And so it dawned on me, oh, I am performing. This is not authentic. I'm not allowing a full expression of me. And the only person here who's doing the censoring, who's putting me on mute, is me. I'm a lot better at boundaries than I used to be. So it's not that I didn't have any boundary. It's that I didn't express it. I didn't say it out loud. And when that happens, my body speaks to me. My body lets me know. It starts with something uncomfortable that could, if I ignore it, if I keep pushing through, it can turn into something worse. And that's happened a lot to me in the past. So this time I caught it. I caught those sensations, and I noticed what I was doing. I was scanning for the other person's reaction. I was scanning my words. And later I felt a sense of regret. At first I wasn't sure what was behind the feeling. I just had this sensation of an emotion. And it dawned on me that most of us don't notice it in the moment when it's happening. I certainly didn't. That it's self-abandonment. That I wasn't being true to myself. And it feels afterwards like we missed out on ourselves. It's just being socially acceptable, trying to fit in, trying to not say the wrong thing, trying to not be too much. This is not a new pattern in my life. When I look back, I see that going all the way back to my childhood. I always thought I could adapt myself to be whatever other people wanted me to be. Not in a strategic way. Just to try and make the other person happy. I didn't question it at the time. It was just a normal way of life. And looking back, I think everybody was doing that to a certain extent. But now I realize that's survival instinct. That's trying to stay safe. That was keeping me on high alert. And I think this is where it gets really human. It's not just my story. So many of us do this. And we're left with a feeling afterwards. Maybe it's an awkward feeling or a sense of loss or disconnection. Maybe it's a body sensation. Something is slightly off. Like, oh, Was what I said there really true? Why did I say that? I remember when I was younger coming home from so many social events thinking, why did I say that? I don't know if that's true for me. And it seems that for so many of us, the more we care about someone, the more we hide ourselves or parts of us. We adjust things. We say part of the truth, but not the whole truth. And what I've come to notice is that I can feel the difference in my emotions, in the body felt sense. When I'm my whole authentic self, when I speak up and I don't consider the potential cost of saying whatever is in my heart at that moment, I feel a sense of aliveness and ease. And physically that feels like spaciousness, almost an internal feeling of ease as well. And when I'm out of alignment, there's pressure, constriction, and a emotional sense of discomfort or slight sadness. I think the reason that this happens is that most of us don't want to seem too intense or too much. And we actually want other people to find it easy to be with us. That's certainly true in my case. I don't want people to think I'm heavy or difficult to be around. It's a really natural thing to want other people to like us because we live in community and we need connection. So we have to give ourselves grace. I have to give myself grace for wanting to be liked. But every time I abandon myself, it puts me further and further away from real authenticity and joy. So I have to take the steps towards joy, right? Maybe it won't feel light for other people to be around me, and maybe I won't be accepted. And maybe I won't be easy to be around. But I can't leave myself behind in order to please someone else, not anymore. I have to choose myself. And so what I'm discovering is that I don't want to discover my truth after I've already silenced myself. I want to live my truth in the moment. I want to be my authentic self moment by moment. This time, after I caught myself performing, I felt bad and I didn't want to make that mistake again. And it can be really difficult to give oneself forgiveness for the process of learning these new behaviors. I grew up with cameras at home. My mom was a photographer, and then I became a photographer, and I've always been very comfortable behind the camera. Later I became a filmmaker, and I never, ever, ever wanted to go in front of the camera. It looked so exposing. I think that actors are some of the bravest humans in the world. And I always knew I wasn't that brave, and I didn't want to be that brave. And so part of this healing journey for me is to turn up in front of the camera and just tell you the truth. Because I'm at a stage where I'm stepping into my fears and I'm being my authentic self. I want to share with you this quotation from Brené Brown from her book on vulnerability. And in a way, I guess when I'm performing, I'm trying to avoid feeling vulnerable. I guess that's the pain point or the pressure point. The vulnerability of feeling exposed when, if I'm my authentic self, and then the person doesn't like me, it hurts. So it's vulnerable to be your real self. Here's her quotation. She's talking about the bravery of being vulnerable, really, which is something that helps me and inspires me to keep going. I hope it does the same for you. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. He who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Theodore Roosevelt. So that's from her book, Daring Greatly, How the Courage to be Vulnerable Transforms the Way We Live, Love, Parent, and Lead. So I consider it an act of daring greatly to drop all artifice, to notice moment by moment, am I being true? Am I being authentic? Am I hiding anything? Am I holding myself back? Am I muting parts of myself? I believe that a lot of people think their authenticity is their personality, this persona. But I believe that it's a moment by moment feeling that you can connect to that lets you know whether you're in your truth or you're not, whether you're in alignment or you're not. I don't think I have a fixed persona. I'm not always going to be easygoing, but I'm not always going to be heavy-going, because I'm sure, like you, I change. Sometimes I'm like this and sometimes I'm like that, and things happen, and we're allowed to be changeable. But moment by moment, I can tell if I'm performing or not. So I can tune in to myself. I can check in at any time, whether it's halfway through a conversation, whether it's when I'm reading an email, and I can feel into, am I feeling pressure right now? Or am I feeling aliveness and ease? And if I slip up, and if I accidentally fall back into the old pattern, I can come back again and discover this ongoing, moment by moment, living truth of my own authenticity. I can be allowed to make mistakes and learn from them and start again in the next moment. Thanks for being here today. Thank you for listening. I'm on a rooftop in Spain. Can you hear? There's a road below, and just over there, there's the beach behind the trees. It's pretty warm for April, and I'm very blessed to be traveling and slowly moving around this world. So if you'd like to, I'd love it if you hit subscribe or give the video a like or share your thoughts on what I've talked about here, and to what extent are you able to stop performing, or do you feel like that's something that was over a long time ago for you? Take good care of yourself.